Today is a very, very, very special day. January 31st is a day that I will remember for my entire life. In 2019, in this very day, January 31st, 2019, that was the day that I said yes to myself. I said yes to healing my relationship with food. I said yes to conquering binge eating. January 31st of 2019, 6 years ago, was the day that I said, I am doing this. I am actually going to put in the work to heal my relationship with food. I want to eat normally. I want to get back into with my hunger and fullness cues. I'm ready to do this for myself, for my family, for my relationship, for my future children, for the trajectory of my entire life. I am doing this. And 6 years ago, on this date, was the day that I said yes to conquering binge eating. And here we are, 5 years, completely binge free, with the most easy, effortless relationship with food. And so much has shifted for me. And I want to walk you through all of the shifts that have changed for me in terms of my relationships, my self love, my confidence, my finances, my career, my mood, my digestion. Like everything has changed for me. And I want to walk you through this process of everything that has really shifted for me. So, January 31st, 2019 was the day that I said yes to myself. And this is when I was, of course, learning all the different tools to become less impulsive with food. I had to get back in tune with hunger and fullness. I had to relearn how to eat when I was hungry and stop when I was full because I was so disconnected from my body for such a long time. I had to practice not giving into my urges, and I had to really show up for myself. And people always ask like how was the journey? Like, was it hard? Was it easy? And I'm just like, I was so focused on I am going to conquer that I had like almost like blinders on, and I'm like, I'm just going to do whatever it takes to get there because I know that this is not the true Lorna. I'm like, this is not my true self. Like, I was snappy with my family, especially my mom and my boyfriend at the time. I was snappy. I had low energy. I was walking around feeling inflamed all the time. And I was somebody who I love dressing up. Like, I used to love dressing up, and I wasn't able to do that. Like I didn't want to go out, and I just didn't feel like myself. So for me, I wasn't worried about like, is this going to be hard? Is this going to be challenging? Like that thought never crossed my mind because I was just so committed to healing my relationship with food and getting back to feeling like my true self again, like this bubbly, fun, loving, patient, calm Lorna, that I wasn't worried about how long it was going to take me or the challenges that would come along for the ride. I'm like, I am doing this no matter what. Like, it doesn't really matter. So I showed up very powerfully for myself. And the first exciting thing that happened to me was getting engaged at the end of 2019. And I remember thinking, like, I'm just so proud of myself for doing this work because after an engagement comes marriage, and then we're going to move in together, and then maybe one day start a family. And I was like, I was just so grateful that I decided to do this because when I got engaged to Andrew, I actually was starting to feel like more of myself. And I didn't want to go through the rest of my life feeling like this imposter or feeling like he wasn't getting the true representation of who I was. You feel me? It's like, when you're not showing up as your true self. It's like, I didn't want to be intimate. I was moody. I was snappy. And I was like, I want to, if I'm going to get engaged, if I'm going to get married, if I'm going to be a mom one day, I'm like, I need to feel like myself. And in that moment where we got engaged, it's like something just like went over me and was like, I just felt so proud of myself and so excited for my future, because this is when I started to feel at the end of 2019, I started feeling obviously a lot better with food because I've been spending all year healing my relationship with food. And I just felt like Andrew, my boyfriend at the time, then fiance, was actually starting to get the real Lorna. And that was very, very, very exciting for me. 2020 was the year where we were planning our wedding. And if I did not heal my relationship with food, I would have been a mess in 2020. Trying to figure out what workouts I was gonna do to get wedding ready, trying to figure out what I was gonna eat to get wedding ready. And honestly, I was not thinking about my body. I was not thinking about what I was gonna eat. I was just so excited to marry this man. I wasn't even thinking about like how I needed to look. It was just like I was just so excited for that day. And this is the thing, when you are getting rid of the food noise in your mind, you're becoming less impulsive, you're less obsessive over the way that you look. You just free up so much space in your mind to not even think about food in your body. Even one of my clients, she is going away with her boyfriend for his birthday this weekend. And it's just like I'm just so excited to celebrate this birthday, and it doesn't have to be like this big crazy thing around food. It's like I can't wait to just celebrate him and celebrate his birthday. It's not like, oh my god, I need to go fix my body before we go on vacation, or I have to go on this crazy, food plan before going on this vacation. It's just like I just got to show up, and I'm just so excited to spend quality time with him. And so most people would, try to change or fix their body before their big special day. And I wasn't even thinking about food in my body. I was like, I was just so excited to be getting married, like a childhood dream. I'm like, this is actually coming true. And something else was I felt calm planning my wedding. I want to bring this up because when I was, thinking about food a lot and I was having these urges, I not only was very like snappy, but everything needed to be so perfect. Like everything needed to be perfect. My day needed to be perfect. My routines needed to be perfect. My workouts needed to be perfect. What I was eating needed to be perfect. And in 2020, when I was planning my wedding, I was so calm. Like maybe a little bit too calm, but I was just so calm. And I wasn't worried about, is everything going to be perfect? Like I was just like, whatever. We want to get these candles, sure. We want to be able to do this, sure. Like I was just so calm, and I want to stress this. Haha, stress. I want to stress this because something that a lot of clients come to me wanting to do, yes, stop binge eating, but they want to just feel calm throughout the day. And that was something that I've really been able to do as I healed my relationship with food. I'm not frantic. 2020, I was planning a wedding. And in the past, it's like everything needed to be so perfect. And little things would stress me out. And I just felt literally so calm. Planning my wedding, like planning a wedding, most people are like stress balls. And I was just so chill. I was so calm. I was able to just kind of go with the flow. I stopped being so uptight. I stopped being so snappy. And I would just go about my day like grounded and calm. And this is because when you're less impulsive and you're less trying to control your food, you stop trying to control every other thing in your life. So I just felt so much more calm throughout the days, which was a massive transformation for myself, even for my family. Like seeing my mom being like, wow, like you're just so chill, or like Andrew being like, you're so calm. Like it's a compliment. Because again, I used to be very uptight, and just looking at people who would just be calm and like not take everything so seriously, not be this perfectionist. And I'm like, I want to be like that person. They just like go with the flow. They're so spontaneous. They're so chill. And I'm like, I want to be that person. And I was that person. Like there were so many times where actually the I think it was like 2 weeks before I was about to get married. 2 weeks before I was about to get married, my makeup artist had to cancel on me. I am not a makeup person, okay? Like I don't know how to do makeup. I am not a makeup person, okay? And she wasn't able to do my makeup. And in the past, I would have been freaking out like, this is my day. Oh my God, this is ruined. Like, this sucks. And I was just like, okay, well, do you know anyone that can do my makeup for that day? Like, it was so chill. Like, the most special day of my life. And this makeup artist canceled on me 2 weeks before. I was just like, okay, no problem. It was like, I can just go with the flow. Even, going wedding cake testing and booking a videographer. It was just like, sure, like this one sounds good. Or yeah, let's just do this. It was like I also was able to just make faster decisions. Because when you heal your relationship with food and you start to make faster decisions with food and you build up that trust, it also goes into the other areas of your life as well too, where you stop taking everything so seriously, you stop trying to control everything, you surrender, you trust, and you just are able to go with the flow. So that was an incredible time. And as I was healing my relationship with food and conquering binge eating, I obviously started to feel in control for like the very first time in my life. And I started to have this feeling of what freedom actually felt like. I was like, I honestly am not having food thoughts. Going out for dinner with Andrew is like this exciting thing. It's not this thing that makes me anxious anymore. I'm not obsessing over every single thing that I eat. And I had this download where I was like, my life has changed so much. I need to teach other people this. I was like, when you learn something that changes your life, you want to go spread it to everyone. And that's how I felt. But at the time, I was a personal trainer, I was a health coach. Andrew and I had our fitness studio. And I was literally a health coach. I was a personal trainer. I was a health and fitness coach. Everybody knew me. Lorna, she's the health coach. Lorna's the fitness coach. Lorna has a fitness studio. And I felt like that identity no longer served me anymore. This wasn't who I was. I was like, I need to shed this layer and step into the woman that I know that I was always meant to be. And I got this calling to say, Lorna, you need to help people with their relationship with food. You need to help them conquer binge eating because you've done this yourself. You know how transformative this is, that you know how this has literally changed your marriage, your sex life, your relationships, your health, your finances, your career. I'm going to go into all these different things. You know how much that's changed your life. You can't hold this information back. But at the time, like I was a personal trainer, I was a health and fitness coach. And it didn't even make sense for me to just all of a sudden switch. And again, it's this identity shift. Just like going from I'm this binge eater to I don't binge anymore. It's a scary identity shift. I had to go through this shift of letting go of this identity of like I'm this health coach and I'm this personal trainer. So I had to lean into the fear and make this big shift because everybody knew me. Lorna, oh, she does health, she does fitness, she does workouts. And I said to myself, I need to lean into the fear and listen to this calling that says, Lorna, you were meant to do this. You know, so many of my clients tell me, they're like, Lorna, you're the only one that gets me. And yes, because I've gone through this and I just felt like I can't hide this information. You know, like if your daughter had some type of condition where she needed support, and you found somebody with the solution, with the answer, you would be like, I need to know what you have because you have something that can really help my daughter. And I felt like I had that for so many people who were struggling with binge eating and emotional eating and overeating. And I was like, I'm going to be so many people's answered prayers. Because I prayed for so long of like, I need this to be gone from my life. And somebody had changed my life. And I wanted to be that person that could change so many other people's lives as well too, and be like, Lorna, you were the answers to my prayers. And actually, it was so beautiful to see one of my clients actually shared that with me. She's like, you were finally the answers to my prayers. And I'm like, this just means so much to me. So I couldn't not do this. I knew that I had to make the shift from personal trainer, health coach, to helping women heal their relationship with food because it was so impactful for me. And so I completely made the shift. And this is when I also got certified to help women heal their relationship with food, and I started coaching them. And, people were telling me, like, I have never had anyone, share this information with me before. Like, you're this gift. Again, you're the answers to my prayers. Like, you finally are somebody that gets me. I've tried therapists, nutritionists. Like, Lorna, you're the only one that gets me. And I felt so proud and so happy in that moment that I chose to go first and heal my relationship with food, because not only is my life changed, but now I'm able to help so many other people go through this transition as well too. And, people's husbands thank me for changing their wives' life. My clients are telling me my relationship with my children are so much better. I'm so much more calm throughout the day. And it really is the greatest gift. So that happened. I made this shift, as scary as it was, from everyone knows me as I have a fitness studio. It doesn't make logical sense. I'm literally a personal trainer. And now I'm going to all of a sudden completely shift and help people heal their relationship with food. Like, it didn't make logical sense, but it made complete sense to me in the fact of like, I need to be doing this. I was like, I need to be doing this. So that's what went on. And in February 26th of 2021, I decided to start a podcast. February 26th was the first day that I launched the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. It was the first day that I actually put a podcast episode on my podcast. And again, this was a very big, badass move. I'm like, is anyone gonna listen? I'm like, this was 2021. I was like, there's so many other people that have podcast episodes. There's so many other people that probably have way more podcast episodes. Obviously, I'm just getting started, but I leaned into the fear and I was like, I have a message to share with the world, and my life has changed. Again, I'm not holding this back. So I launched my very first podcast, February 26th of 2021. And why I'm sharing this with you is because this is confidence. Something that I've really built, something that I've really gained through healing my relationship with food was confidence. And I'm not just talking confidence in my own skin. Yes, I have cultivated that. But I've also cultivated this level of confidence within myself. When you conquer binge eating and you do something like that, you're like, I can take over the world. I can literally do anything. And you just go for it in so many other areas of your life, because you've just gone through this challenge and you've come out on the other side and you're like, I can literally do anything. So I started a podcast. I put myself out there and I was like, I'm going to share this important message to the world. That was 2021. And there's so many other things that happened in between, but I'm just going to share like the most pivotal moments. So in 2022, Andrew and I moved. So I used to live in the busy city, and I was with family and everything was close by. I built a life there. Like, I've actually never moved my entire life personally. I've always lived in the house that I've lived, where I was. And so making this shift, moving away from family where it was not safe, not familiar, not safe meaning like, it was obviously safe living in the same place for, the 20 plus years that I was living in from my childhood home to when I got married. And we moved into kind of like, honestly, like the country land. And it was this big shift of like, okay, I'm away from family. I need to build new friendships here. I need to build a life here. Like this was a little bit of a challenge at the beginning because I didn't know anyone here. I needed to put myself out there. It's like I needed to make new friends. I needed to go to a different yoga studio. Like there was just so much things that shifted. And again, it felt like I was literally moving in the middle of Timbuktu, like in the middle of nowhere where Andrew and I moved. Now I love it. Now I love it. But at the beginning, it was like this adjustment. And I knew that this was going to be a shift. I knew this was going to be a challenge. And something that I want to share with you is even at the beginning, when it did feel a little lonely, even at the beginning when there was so much uncertainty of like, did I make the right move? Even at the beginning when there was so much uncertainty of like, how do I make friends? Like, what do I say? What do I do? I never turned to food once. Even when I was felt lonely at the beginning of 2022, moving to a new place in the middle of absolute nowhere, moving away from family, having a big, like, this was a big life transition for Andrew and I. This was our first home. I was like, I did not turn to food. I let myself feel. I let myself feel the feelings. And, Andrew and I had many conversations, and thankfully, obviously, an incredible supportive husband. But we spoke through this, and we're like, well, if we want to live here, like we have to put ourselves out there. We have to go make new friends. We need new relationships. And so Andrew and I started to join certain things. Andrew joined this kind of like this networking thing close by, like a co-working space. I joined the yoga studio that's now 3 minutes away from my house. It was 8 minutes. They moved. It's actually closer now. And I built friendships. I started to I love living here. All because, again, I put myself out there. I remember walking into the yoga studio and I was like batshit scared. I'm like, I don't know these people. Like, it looks like everyone else has already built like friendships here. And I'm like this new person. But I needed to put myself out there. And again, when you heal your relationship with food and you are confident in who you are, you can put yourself out there. You can make these new friendships because you're not worried about what are they going to think about me. When you know who you are, you can put yourself out there. You can reach out to a person that you've never spoken to before. You can, go on a coffee date with somebody because you're so confident in who you are. Even if you do get rejected, you're like, I'm going to be okay because I know who I am and I love who I am. And that was the energy that I brought forward. And it's interesting, everyone at the yoga studio that I went to, they were so drawn to me because of my energy. This is what people would say, like, Lorna, like, you're just so energetic and you're so bubbly. But that was not the Lorna back in 2019 when I was binging and feeling out of control with food. This is the Lorna who put in the work to heal my relationship with food, which is why I can feel like my true self again. And this is something that I want you to get so excited about. When you are no longer thinking about food, you're no longer emotionally eating or overeating, you are going to actually fully just be yourself. You're going to fully just be yourself. And it's honestly the greatest thing in the world to just be able to show up and people are drawn to you. They're like, there's something about you. Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do for a job? Like, you look so happy. You look so healthy. And I'm like, yes, because I actually take care of myself. Somebody actually asked me, they're like, what do you do for your workouts? And I was like, honestly, like that's such a small part of my life. I just take really good care of myself and I've healed my relationship with food. That is so magnetic. Like people don't see on the outside. They're like, oh, she healed her relationship with food. She healed her relationship with food. But people can feel something about you when you're confident. So we built this life here, built new friendships, started to actually love where we lived. And fast forward 2023, we went to Greece for our honeymoon. And I felt so good. Like every year, life just keeps on getting better. And Andrew and I had an amazing time. This was celebrating our honeymoon, a little bit of a delay because of everything that happened with the CEO, what happened in 2020. Anyways, we went to Greece and we had the best time, and I just felt so at ease. Andrew and I were eating whatever we wanted. Obviously, we choose high quality food, but we shared dessert almost every single night. And I just felt honestly so good. Like vacations used to stress me out. I used to never want to go on vacation. In fact, I barely went on vacation because I was like, that's going to be a week of me falling off track. And now I'm like, Andrew and I travel multiple times each year because it's so fun. I'm like, I don't even think about the food, or I don't spend weeks and months trying to change my body. I just show up because I just feel really good and I just take care of myself, and I don't have to change. When you take really good care of yourself every single day, you don't have to change anything that you're doing before vacation, during vacation, or when you're back from vacation, because it just becomes a part of who you are. It's your identity. I shifted my identity from binge eater, personal trainer, to like this person who just takes really good care of myself every single day. So, had an amazing trip, celebrating our honeymoon. I just felt so good, so madly in love, so healthy, so happy. And the end of 2023, this is when I launched the Root and Rewire membership. And people went crazy for this. This is my 6 or 12-month program, and over 100 people have gone through this membership. And people were so drawn to this because it has everything you need to heal your relationship with food. It has the community. It has monthly calls with me. It has all the tools to rewire your brain. People always ask me, Lorna, like, how did you stop binge eating? And I'm like, I learned the tools to rewire my brain. I was part of a community. I got coaching. And so I created this program, and everyone was flocking to it. And I've had people go through this membership 6 months binge free. I've had people say, like, for the first time in my life, I finally felt understood. I've had people be like, it's actually funny. It's one of my past clients' birthday today, and I just messaged her for her birthday. And I remember she was in the membership. She was in the membership last year. And she wrote this big thing of like, this was the first time in my entire life I was able to go out for dinner with my husband, get dessert, order exactly what I wanted, and just feel like so calm and actually feel excited to celebrate my birthday, not be worried about like what I was eating. And I just messaged her today saying like, happy birthday. And she's like, can't tell you how free and good I feel thanks to you and the community that you created. You're perhaps the biggest badass of all, and I'm so grateful that you came into my life. But this was because also she decided to put in the work to heal her relationship with food. She decided to join the membership and be part of this incredible badass community. So she was able to heal her relationship with food because she had the support, she had the coaching, she learned how to rewire her brain, and now it's been a year later and she still feels so incredibly free. I am the coach that will help you not just have a binge-free month. I am here to help you sustainably end binge eating for good. This client messaged me a year later and she still feels free. That is true freedom. I am celebrating 5 years binge-free. 5 years, not 5 months. which 5 months is still incredible. 5 years binge free. If there's one person that you learn how to conquer binge eating and sustain a binge free life so that you can be the person that messages me a year after we work together and you're like, I feel so good with food still, you need to be inside of my programs. Anyways, that was the end of 2023, and I was coaching clients from Italy, Portugal, New Zealand, France, Belgium. I have clients now in Bali, and I have clients from all over the world. And it was just, that was a really exciting period in my life where people were telling me, like, I'm so happy that you shared your story of conquering binge eating because it gave me hope. And because I went first and I healed my relationship with food, I had this ripple effect on so many of these other clients. So that was 2023. In 2024, Andrew and I did another trip to Japan, which was so much fun. It was one of the best trips. We went to like Nintendo World and we just had the greatest time. Again, something that, again, Andrew and I wanted to focus on was more trips. And again, when you feel so good with food, you're happy, you're healthy, you feel so confident, it's like I can literally travel wherever I want and not have to worry about binging. So we went to Japan, and then we got back from Japan, I launched my program, Conquer. Because what was happening was I started doing these programs every single month. Stop the urge, break the late night binge, eat normally, body image boost, master your mind, stop emotional eating. I was running all these programs every single month. And everyone started joining one program, joining the other program, joining the other program, joining all the program. And I'm like, okay, I need to bundle up all of my programs and actually create a program where you get access to all my programs. Like, that's the most genius thing. So this is where I created Conquer. Conquer is where you get access to all of my programs to conquer binge eating. And I launched that, and it was so incredible. People from the membership were upgrading to Conquer. People were flooding to this program. They're like, yes, I am so ready to conquer binge eating. Like, I am ready to conquer binge eating. And we had so many people join that program. Massive success. And then fast forwarding to June of 2024. June of 2024. I had the highest cash month in my business in June of 2024. June of 2024, my business has brought in, just for that one single month for June, $50,000 in cash in that 1 month. And why I'm sharing this with you is, yes, the massive impact. Yes, I'm helping so many people. But why I'm sharing this with you is when you conquer binge eating and you heal your relationship with food, you can actually, like, your finances can drastically change. Why? Because when you're more confident, you can ask for the raise. You can start your own business. One of my clients, there was a higher level position available in her workplace, and she was the one that said, I will take that. Why? Because she's feeling more confident. Why? She's stepping into her inner badass. And so now she could be at a higher level position, which is going to not only increase her confidence, but it's also going to make an impact on her finances as well too. So this month I had my highest cash month in my business. And again, my health didn't just change. My relationship didn't change. My financial situation has changed. Like $50,000 in 1 month of June in 2024 last year. It was crazy, but also not crazy, because again, when you believe in yourself and you're making a massive impact and you have so much confidence, you're like, I can do anything. So that was a really pivotal moment in my life. Like, when you're no longer ruled by food, you can go after your desires, you can make more money, you can live life on your terms, you can ask for the job promotion, you can ask for the raise, all these things, everything becomes possible. And I built up so much strength after conquering binge eating, where I literally had this belief, I'm like, I can do anything. And my clients tell me this all the time too. They're like, because I've conquered binge eating, like now I feel like I can literally do anything. I'm becoming unstoppable, and it's true. So this was 2024, and this was after that month, so like July-ish. Honestly, I felt the best I've ever felt in years with my health, my happiness, my gut health. Like my digestion has never been better than it's ever been in my entire life. I've cultivated incredible friendships. I've made a really good friend this past in 2024. We went on multiple walks each week together. We just like vibe really well together, and I just felt more me than ever before. And this is also when I started declaring that I'm going to be more me, even more unapologetically. I'm going to be me louder than ever before. You know, there were certain parts on my journey where comparison, oh, she's better than me, um or like I can't show this part of myself, and I'm like, F that. Honestly, mid 2024, I'm like, I am going to show up as me even more. I'm going to get even louder. I'm going to be more passionate, because people would tell me, Lorna, you're so loud, you're so passionate. I'm like, yes. And if you don't like it, then I'm sorry, but this is who I am. I'm so passionate, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I got another comment on TikTok. Somebody's like, why are you shouting? And I'm like, I'm just really passionate. And that's me. And I'm going to be my weird self. I'm going to be loud. I'm going to be passionate. And that's just who I am. So that was like a declaration of like turning up the dial on me even more. And it felt so good. Then late August, I remember going for a walk with Andrew. And Andrew has run a few events before for his people. And I was like, I built an incredible community, and I was like, I want to run an event. I was like, I want to build an event for anyone that follows me, that anyone wants to be part of this event. I'm like, I want to build an event and bring all of these incredible badasses together in person in one room, which, by the way, this is why we're doing the Unstoppable Badass event this March in Florida, because I was like, let's bring everyone in person. Like, people have gotten incredible results like being on Zoom with me, and I'm like, just wait until we actually get in person in the room. Like, your life is gonna change. So I made this badass move. I tell you guys to make badass moves all the time. This was a badass move for me, where I have been planning this event behind the scenes, being like, I'm all in. I am doing this. Like, we have people from freaking all over the world flying across the world, and I am going to do this. And again, I have the confidence to put on an event because I've built confidence through healing my relationship with food. Like, this all ties together. I hope you guys start to see this. It's not just I heal my relationship with food so I can stop when I'm full. I healed my relationship with food. My sex life has improved. I make more money. I'm making the biggest impact. I found my purpose. My digestion is better. I have better friendships in my life, quality friendships in my life. I can now travel multiple times a year. Like, so much can change for you. Anyways, December 2024, this is when I attended my mentor's retreat in Costa Rica. And again, this was another badass move. I could have easily been like, oh, I probably shouldn't go. I'm already doing coaching with her. Like, I don't need to go. I could have made all these excuses. Like, it was actually my dad's birthday. And I could have been like, no, I can't make it. And I was like, I am going to be there. And this was a massive investment. It was like $20,000 for like a weekend, essentially. And I was like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm going to get into the room. If there's an opportunity that's presented to me, like, I'm going to be there. And again, this is the level of confidence that I've cultivated. It's like, I believe in myself. I trust myself. I'm here to live an extraordinary life. So I'm going to say yes to all these opportunities that expand me, that push me out of my comfort zone. Like, that's what I did my whole life, which is why I live the life that I have now. It's like I've always said yes to myself. I've always invested in coaches. I've gotten in the rooms. And that's how I built my strength and my confidence and my self love, by doing things that I actually really want to do for myself. So that was in 2024. It was incredible. It was an incredible in person weekend. I came back home and this even greater badass, and I just felt so in my power. Being around other really successful people, it just shifts your identity so much. Like, I literally believe like anything is possible. So that was an incredible time. And then this year, so this month, although I'm celebrating 5 years, like 6 years of saying yes to myself and 5 years binge free, I did have a loss in my family this month, and my grandma passed away. And a lot of the times when you're going through something devastating, a loss, something stressful, something devastating, that's when most people will turn to food. I had absolutely no desire to self soothe. The thought did not even cross my mind. And why am I sharing this with you? I am sharing this with you to share the power of sustainably conquering binge eating, the power of fully rewiring your brain so you have no urge to emotionally eat, to self soothe, even when you're going through a loss of a loved one. I was emotional. I had to go visit my grandma multiple times in palliative care. And then obviously the viewing and the funeral, like, it was a challenging time. And seeing my mom, it was very, very, very challenging. I did not once turn to food. The thought did not even cross my mind because I don't have urges anymore. I let myself feel, I let myself cry. There's no, I need to make myself feel better. I know how to make myself feel better, and food is not going to make me feel better. I'm celebrating 5 years binge free, and it doesn't matter